welcome to Street Folktales. Long ago, in the lush village of Umuahia, nestled between two silent hills and guarded by an ever-whispering forest, lived a woman named Neko. She was known across many lands for her beauty, strength, and above all, her barrenness. For 14 long years, she prayed, fasted, and offered sacrifices at the shrines of Ola, the earth goddess, and Amadioha, the god of justice. Her cries pierced the heavens, echoing through the sacred grove. Then, one day, an old woman, skin like dried bark and eyes like burning coals, appeared at her doorstep. "You seek a child, Neko," the old one croaked. "But a womb must not cry louder than the gods themselves." Neko fell to her knees. "Please, I will do anything." The old woman gave her a small gourd sealed with red wax and tied with a correlaced string. "Drink this when the moon turns blood red. But beware, what the gods give, they can take. A gift too long prayed for may come wrapped in shadow." That night, the blood moon rose, and Neko, trembling, drank the potion. 9 moons passed, and Adaobi was born, a girl so beautiful that birds sang sweeter when she cried, and even the most bitter widow smiled when she passed. But from the moment Adaobi drew her first breath, strange things began to happen. The village well, once sweet and full, began to dry during the wet season. Chickens laid eggs with no yolk. Children fell ill for no reason, and old men muttered about a bad wind. As Adaobi grew, so did the strangeness around her. By age 7, she could speak to snakes and birds. By 10, she never walked in the rain but remained dry. And by 13, she no longer cast a shadow under the sun. The villagers grew fearful. Even Neko's love began to buckle under the weight of unease. Then came the night of the Odiu festival. The entire village gathered under the full moon to honor their ancestors and thank the gods for the harvest. Masks danced, drums spoke in tongues, and fire lit the air. Adaobi, now 15, stood at the edge of the crowd, watching. Her eyes glowed, not with innocence, but with something ancient. The village priestess, Mama Ogoli, noticed and beckoned Neko. "Your daughter must visit Enenimiri, the river mother," she whispered. "The child carries a name the spirits speak with caution. Let the river show you the truth." The next dawn, Neko and Adaobi traveled to the sacred river, a place only women of pure heart could tread. There, Neko called upon Enenimiri with chants her grandmother once taught her. The river shimmered and parted like an open eye, and from it rose a spirit, tall as a palm tree, cloaked in water and sorrow. "Why do you summon me, mother of the cursed?" Neko fell prostrate. "I seek the truth about my daughter." The spirit turned to Adaobi, and the river swirled violently. "This child," said Enenimiri, "was not born of flesh alone. When you drank from the god of longing, you opened a door. The girl is part spirit, half child, half omen. Her presence bends the balance of things. Where she walks, fate is rewritten." Neko's heart shattered like a calabash on life in Umuahia darkened. Crops withered without cause. Storms struck without warning. The village elders met in secret. Their verdict was clear: Adaobi must be cast out, or the land would perish. Neko pleaded. "She is my only child. She is still just a girl." But hearts had hardened. Even the gods seemed silent. On the night of Adaobi's 17th birthday, the villagers came with torches, led by the priestess herself. "Adaobi, daughter of the forgotten path, you are banished." Neko stood before them. "Then I go with her." But Adaobi, serene as ever, touched her mother's shoulder. "No, Mama. This is not your fate. You gave me life, even when the gods warned you. I am your joy, but also your burden. Your gift, but also your test." She turned to the crowd, her voice like wind through ancient trees. You call me a curse, but remember, when your enemies came, it was my shadow that frightened them off. When drought threatened, I called the rains. When illness struck your children, I stood by their beds and sent them back to health. The villagers were silent. Some wept. Others turned away. And then Adaobi walked into the forest, the trees parting for her like obedient servants. She was never seen again. But years passed, and Umuahia flourished once more, strange, for a land supposedly cursed. Women bore twins again. Rivers ran clean. A new peace settled. Neko grew old, telling Adaobi's story to the young, not as a tale of fear, but of mystery, sacrifice, and the cost of unanswered